Folks, 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 folks! Welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. As we journey through the valley of shadow of cardboard, as we end 2022, getting a lot of people asking me, Rudy, will you at least make a video on Jumpstart, like the original Jumpstart and Jumpstart 2022? Please do not acknowledge the in-between, what we call the bootleg, silly, fake Jumpstart sets that are worthless. And I said, we need to talk about that. So first, as far as expected value, let's look at the market. We have original Jumpstart from a couple years ago. You guys know I'm a huge fan of it. I've disclosed I have the largest heavy bags of original Jumpstart probably ever compared to anyone out there. And I'm a huge fan of original OG Jumpstart. It's a super cheap product. The expected value right now bounces between $100 and $120 a box for OG original Jumpstart. And as of the film of this video, you can get original Jumpstart on the open market for like $100 plus tax. So what, 105, 110 shipped for most people? It's still, and the expected value of the box is over $100 a box. So essentially, you can buy original Jumpstart, actually draft it, make little decks and pair them up and enjoy the cards. And on average, those boxes are even worth the same value in single cards. They are sealed. You don't even lose any tremendous value. It's an incredible product. So looking at Jumpstart 2022, obviously I told you guys I skipped it at release because I didn't want to take on the excessive risk in case we had another market collapse. And I didn't want to dump that to patrons. I didn't want to sell it to patrons. I didn't want to sell it to any of you all. Didn't want to sit on bags for myself. So I waited, and I've got 2 pallets of Jumpstart 2022 going to be here any moment now. And which actually they may already be here by the time you watch this video. And I'm going to run a small sale to the patrons to that pretty soon. But overall, I want to talk about the product. This is what Jumpstart should be. Like, why on earth they use... well, I don't want to say I don't know why. I hate how Wizards does that. I hate how they come out with a good product, like Jumpstart, and then they piggyback on the name and make these supplemental products in between that are garbage. I mean, that's all they did with Commander Legends. The Baldur's Gate situation was essentially nothing to do with Commander Legends, and they literally took the name and hosed everybody, and they rode the name on all of us. I hate how they use that with the names. And again, they did that with the Jumpstart name. All these set Jumpstart are, oh God, they're so toxic, dude. You can smell the dumpster from the parking lot. It's just terrible. And Jumpstart 2022 has come out. You've got a little, fancy kitty cat, was it Waifu? Crazy little Waifu chick. And you've got a bunch of cards of value in it. And the expected value of Jumpstart 2022 box is like over $100 a box. And they're online right now at like what, 110 to 130, depending with the shippings and taxes where you are. I mean, that's what the market wants, is a cheap product that's not $500 a box, but actually has fun, unique, and enjoyable cards in it. And the price point doesn't have to be through the roof. And, well, Jumpstart 2022 came out, was not overprinted. Everybody under order was real cautious. And yes, be aware, there will be a second. I think I was told the original Jumpstart and the original Commander Legends, I was told, had between 4 and 6 reprints. That's how impactfully, insanely good Commander Legends 1 and Jumpstart Original was. I was told between 4 and 6 reprints. Like, I thought they reprinted it 3 or 4 times. Some people are saying it's up to 6 times. Holy smokes. It just shows that when the product's good, you don't have to jack the price 10x. You don't need to have a billion different products. If you have one good set, and people truly want it, the market takes care of the rest. I don't understand all that stuff. Like, why does Wizards have to do R&D and make all these different sets? And some of them are terrible. They bomb. Why put the money into R&D, the setup costs, and print and produce and design an entire new set when you can make one good set, and over literally 2 years, they reprint it 4 times and just milk it, and everybody's still happy because everybody wants it. Like, isn't that more profitable than designing and inputting so much labor and R&D into a new product and artwork and printing and setup costs? What do I know? I'm a Timmy in a basement. You guys like my $3 haircut. So, I just want to comment about the Jumpstart situation because I'm very impressed by it. Just flat out. No, we're not going to ride the Magic 30 Hasbro. We're not going to go to a cocktail party with your ex. No wife's boyfriend jokes. We're simply saying Jumpstart 2022 has come out. It's fully through the market at this point by a couple weeks. And, well, box prices are holding $110 to $130 with shipping and taxes, depending where you are. And that's pretty good. considering how bad the market is, the economy, how price sensitive your ex-girlfriend is and I am, to be able to hold that is great. That's a phenomenal thing, and I gotta give credit when the product's actually good. And I know, Rudy, Chris Cox and the board of directors, they're not the ones who are making the product. It's the regular employees. We know. So I wanted to comment on that. I still be very careful because after 2022 Jumpstart here, once we return to probably, the Phyrexia all will be what? All will be 69 or something. When the new Phyrexian all will be 69 set comes out, it's probably going to have a Jumpstart product. Just because Jumpstart 2022 is a good product, do not think all these Jumpstart sets coming afterwards, they're going to remain trash. Do not get bait and switched by the name. Don't think, oh, well, they fixed Jumpstart with Jumpstart 2022, so now Phyrexia all will be 69 is going to be a pretty good set, and I'm going to get Jumpstart with it. No. Stay away. It's the same thing with most of these Commander-themed decks. With each release now, you got to back away, man. I'm sorry, you got to back away. Back in the day when we had Commander 2014, 2015, 2016, Commander 19, C20, Commander 21, that's all fine. But now that Wizards, just like the Jumpstart, is just milking all these additional layers of stuff, you got to back off, bro. If you want to be solvent, you want to survive this industry, this market, and the shift, and Chris Cox's plan to make sure everyone knows who he is at a cocktail party, you have to be cautious with ordering all these different things. You got to hone in on the good stuff, and you've got to block it out. And there will be random sets, random commanders. There'll be a random deck that will do really well, and you will miss out on it. And that's okay, because that one item you do well on is not going to mean shit when you've done bad and been hosed and lost money on 8 other product lines. You got to narrow it down. You got to be very selective. You got to take Wizards of the Coast's advice, and you cannot engage and buy all their products. If they are warning you to do that, and they are making the products, you should probably take their advice. So I want to lay that out there. Just because now the main Jumpstart 22 set is a good product, do not think that we're going to start carrying all the Jumpstarts and everything's going to be better moving forward. After Jumpstart 2022, sit back and wait for maybe Jumpstart 23 or 24. Do not buy. I'm warning you all, nothing has changed. Phyrexia all will be 69s. Jumpstart will be a terrible product. The Commander deck sets with every release, which is what? It comes out to be like 30 Commander decks a year now. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with it. So I just wanted to acknowledge that I thought it was really interesting that we got this little waifu little kitty cat card in Jumpstart that's, wow, $40, $50 a card. And remember, these are only $100 boxes. Well, $120 boxes. I mean, $120 boxes to have cards, multiple $10, $20 cards, and a $40, $50 card here. And, I mean, if it's a $400 box of cards, you need a lot of expensive cards to make it worth it. If the box is only $120, that's a pretty low bar to hit to get value out of. And when you have multiple $10, $20 cards and then some, that's a pretty realistic risk-reward scenario, everybody. So I want to make sure everybody understand that. Last but not least in this video, please understand this is not a limited product. So even when I run my little sale to patrons for my Jumpstart 2022, it's going to sell out. I don't have 3, 4, 5, 6,000 boxes. It's probably going to be around 1,000 boxes. I'll do half case, full case type thing, but I don't have a ton. After it sells out, I'm going to let it be. I'm not going to milk it. I'm not going to try to get more. I'm not going to get more from other stores and pay a premium. I'm just going to let it be. Okay? Understand. Do not buy this product, even if I sell it to you for $169. Well, don't pay that much. I'm just saying, whatever the market price is right now, $110 to $130, shipping taxes. Do not pay 140s, 150s. Do not follow the trend upwards. Do not buy this product thinking you're going to flip it and make a bunch of money. Don't buy it from me thinking you're going to flip it and make a bunch of money. Don't run to your local LGS and pay 110 plus tax, 120. Don't pay 120 thinking that you're going to be able to flip it or open it and flip the singles and 10x your money or something. Remember, we remain in a bear market. The negativity towards Hasbro and Wizards is very, very high. A lot of people are refusing to buy, even if the products are good, just out of spite and because of how bad they've treated all of us. I understand that. But at the same time, I'm trying to move forward here without the emotion in Chris Cox's cocktail parties and my price sensitivity. I'm trying not to repair your washer and dryer. We're trying to march forward, and we're trying to evaluate the products isolated with just kind of as they are, without the whole context of Hasbro and the Magic 30 and all this dumb shit. So overall, I'm going to try to focus on, and again, by the way, one last thing, sorry. People have been asking me, why were you such a big investor on Jumpstart Original? And why are you actually turned a corner because you weren't carrying this new Jumpstart? Well, I told you, it's not that I didn't like the new Jumpstart. I wanted to make sure it didn't collapse before I put a lot of money into it. Number two, Jumpstart doesn't have 20 versions. Jumpstart 2022, there's not a Jumpstart 2022 collector's box, set box, commander set. There's themed, it's just one item. It's just one item. Similar to Dominaria Remastered coming up in, 3-4 weeks? It's just, Dominaria Remastered is draft and collector. Kind of like Throne of Eldraine was many years ago. We don't have as many variants. You know, I hope they continue, they adjust the numbers of these things, because this is a better. I personally think all sets moving forward should just have a draft box. You know, and if they want to go collector and draft, I guess that's fine. But even then, there's no reason to have a draft, a collector, a set, a jumpstart, a commander, a fat pack, a skinny pack, and a holiday. There's no reason to have 5 to 10 sealed products of every release. It's absolutely asininely it's just dumb. So, folks, that's all I have to say today. Very interested to see how this Jumpstart story unfolds, because, again, it's the first Jumpstart set we've had that hasn't gone to shit and gone to zero. And I hope you guys learned something. And you guys think with the whole Wafu, you know, kitty cat or any chick, you guys actually, I don't need to do a separate video on this. Do you all think eventually Wizards are going to realize how much more money they can make by putting sexually curvy women on cards? Can you imagine if Wizards actually figures that out? Can you imagine a secret lair of like young Liliana, even the original one with the Steve Argyle artwork, not Grandma Lily? Can you imagine if a whole secret lair was like empowered power alpha women? Can you imagine how successful that would be? And then can you imagine if you had a regular set with all the Grandma Lilies and Grandpa and Rudy Bearscape, and like the chase cards were a bunch of anime wafu curve monster babes? Could you imagine the money they would make? I've thought about that many times, which is why I told you all to be careful targeting just these women cards that are spiking in price, because Wizards won't reprint women. Be careful about that, because I do still think there's going to be a time, that shift in management, a lot of them are either going to get fired or retired, and that shift is going to change, and there's going to be an attitude money. Wizards and Hasbro wants the money. And I don't know if they realize or when they're going to realize the absolute just mountain of money they could make with the women back on Magic cards. And I'm wondering if and or when that's going to come. And because, I mean, look at the Jumpstart. You got one little anime kitty cat girl, and everybody wants it. And it's like, what would happen if they really went in that direction? They would make a lot of money. And like I always say, I use my logic on follow the money. And to me, that feels like a path that's loaded with gold reserves that Wizards hasn't tapped into. So be very careful making investment decisions based on the women thing. So, because that could change at corporate level anytime. Anyways, that's all I got today. Press by Jumpstart. Kind of call it how I see it. Good job, Wizards. You got a set that's actually decent. And yeah, you guys still suck and you're pieces of shit for your stupid Magic 30.